might be unfamiliar to many, but she is the mother of the man who was at one time our most controversial stand-up comic and is now a cult figure. Also with us is the international restaurateur Ciro Orsini, whose Pomodoro restaurant is one of this town's in-place for fine food and entertainment. And now, here's your man of the half hour, Skippy Lowe.
Ah, Sally Marr.
Go.
Do you know something, Sally Marr? I worked with Lenny Bruce, you remember, on Western Avenue.
What was the name of the place?
I don't remember. You know something? I've been trying to think of the name.
Somebody told it to me, I forgot.
I did too.
We'll have to look it up.
Sally, what is new and exciting in your life right now? I mean, there's a lot of things happening
so many
in your
things
life.
happen at once, I can't catch up with it.
Someone just did a benefit.
Well, something happened before. We'll talk about the benefit.
Okay, go ahead.
Sam Kinison, you know, a few years back, like all the comics, I always try to help him,
right.
You know, tell him, not to tell him what to do, because nobody's going to do what you tell them anyway.
Right.
But they want to hear themselves talk. And he said, should I talk loud? Should I talk soft? Whatever it was. And I go with him to Calabasas and different places, wherever he worked. And don't do this, don't do that. And we're very tight, very close for a couple of years. Then all of a sudden he made it and he started running. He called me up one day and he said, Sally, it's time you got paid back for everything you did for everybody. I said, I never did anything for anybody. I did it for me. He said, what do you mean you did it for you? I said, you know, I never signed anybody. He said, yeah. He said, you never made a business out of it. He said, that's why you're broke. I said, I'm never broke. I said, I'm never broke. I said, I could go anywhere to sleep, anywhere to eat. He said, is that all you need in your life? I said, fun, food, place to sleep, and to be able to help somebody every day. And you know I enjoy that. He said, I'm going to pay you back. He said, in 2 weeks at the Madison Square Garden, St. Valentine's Day, I'm going to give you a tribute. Oh, I said, isn't that sweet? He said, and you're going to get the door, the proceeds.
Really?
I said, the what? He said, proceeds. I said, what's that? He said, money. What do you mean, what's that? I said, you mean you're going to give me money for that? He said, yeah, $100,000. Oh,
so,
come on. I said, don't be silly. I said, tell you what, you really mean that? I said, tell you what, I said, send me a $5,000 deposit. And if you do that, I'll believe you. He said, how do you want it? I said, in a half hour with the messenger boy.
And he did send it? Did he?
An hour later, a guy knocked at the door. A $5,000 check. I called up, I said, you know, you really mean it. Do you know, he wanted me to go and all my friends, and I just couldn't make that move in February with the snow, and I haven't been in New York for 5 years. He did it. So I did a...
That's wonderful, Sally.
I did a thing for him.
A lot of people don't forget Lenny Bruce, do they?
Can I ask you a question?
Why? Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Is this program that I'm on now prohibit you to use 3-letter words or 6-letter words or...
Kind of. My audience, I think my audience...
No, I won't use the words.
Yeah,
but wait.
Yeah. See, Lenny used those words. There was a meaning for when Lenny used those words in nightclub, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Kids today, they use that word.
Didn't they destroy that?
Am I correct?
But you know what? The more they use it, the more money they make. You know what I think it is? Because the children are so rebellious. There's such a rebellion.
See.
That the more disgusting... Lenny told me...
But we were all rebelling. We were kids, darling.
30 years ago, Lenny said to me, Ma, where do you think comedy is going?
Right.
I said, I think people are going to go on stage and tear the clothes off each other. Eventually, people are going to tear the clothes off each other's backs.
Martin Downey.
And he said, what made you say that, Ma? I said, it's a feeling. I get that feeling inside. I can see the way it's going. Everything is happening. All of a sudden, I saw floods, wrecks, things I never saw in my life, earthquakes, and all these things happening. And I said, that's very upsetting. The children got to feel that as they're growing, that there's no future.
Growing up with Lenny.
Growing up.
With Lenny. Where? Where was it?
I lived out on the island, Freeport. Yeah, and when I was divorced.
What was his first, do you remember way back, Sally, his first job, Lenny Bruce's very first on stage, using that word? Shocked everybody?
No, he didn't do that for about 7 years.
Oh, he didn't?
Oh, no, he just did impressions.
Impressions.
And corny jokes.
And what made him changed around to do that, Sally? There's got to be some reason for him to do that.
Well, he had some kind of a family change, but that wasn't it. He just grew into the reality of that reality, because I used to say to Lenny, I said, you know, you're a fraud. He said, what do you mean I'm a fraud? I said, you see the way I walk out and I talk to everybody? I walk out on stage naked. You know what means naked?
Of course.
No material.
No material.
No nothing. I make a situation out of anything.
Ad-libbing, yeah.
Ad-libbed all the
That's
time.
right.
I was too poor to buy material, so
So you were a comedian.
stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy
Yeah.
up in the mountains, or?
No, forget about the mountains. That wasn't my
Why
thing.
forget about it, the mountains?
Well, because I was too sophisticated. I did a satire on Lady Macbeth, and they didn't know what the hell I'm doing.
Okay. Where were you working with that material then?
Well, where did I work first?
Yes. In the village, or?
In Greenwich Village.
Yeah, I figured
And
that.
I was very campy, and anybody that was campy, somebody saw Bette Midler and they said, she took your whole act. I said, well, thank God she became a success with it. The only thing I never used was I never said hell on stage. Not for
We
any
never
other
did.
reason.
We never did,
No,
too.
no, not we. I was a clown. As you see a person that's a clown, that I run out and take a slide and do a split.
I see.
You see that kind of a crazy person, and then you say a four-letter word. Why? Did it fit?
No.
No.
Joan Rivers is going to be doing your life story.
Yeah, she's doing my life story. And she's going to portray me. I'm the only one in
Why?
Hollywood that ever sold, I didn't sell, or could get a movie without a script and without a book.
Are you writing a book?
No, you don't understand. I'm the only one in Hollywood ever did that. Do you know how it happened?
How?
I developed Dennis Klein, a great writer.
He is a good writer, yes.
A great writer.
Johnny
I met
Carson,
him 20
wasn't
years
he?
ago.
Johnny
He-
Carson?
No, he did Buffalo Bill and Mary Hartman and Mary Hartman.
Mary Hart.
And he was, see, all my people are like a germ away from me.
Right.
Off-the-wall people. You know, they don't tell jokes. None of my people tell jokes. No offense, Mr.
No, don't. I don't
no.
understand what you mean by that off-the-wall people. I meant
Well,
they
did you
don't
see
tell
Mary
jokes.
Hartman and Mary
Yes,
Hartman
but
material?
yes,
it wasn't an
that's
ordinary
set.
program. Did you see Buffalo Bill, the show that he wrote?
No, I did
But
not.
it doesn't matter. In other words, it wasn't the ordinary
It was an
writer.
offbeat.
Offbeat. All my people that I've helped developed into offbeat people like
I
Pat
see.
Morita, you know, I met him.
So you handle a lot of people then. You have made a lot of
Well,
young
I never
comedians.
signed anybody because I thought if you sign them, if you sign with somebody, what would you think about? You say, I bet I could have done better. But if you get it for nothing, what could be better than nothing? So I never had a hold on anybody. You know why?
Why?
I would never give up my freedom.
Oh, I see.
And if I sign something, it's a commitment. Do you know I lived a lifetime and never committed?
Tell
But
me
I
about.
helped.
I want to know about Joan Rivers. What kind of a life is she going to do, Sally Marr? What is the life of Sally
I'm
Marr?
dying to know.
I'd like to know.
It's not going to be comedy at all.
Is it tragedy?
Well, because when she got all my tapes, Dennis was the one that said to her, the most interesting woman in this town is Lenny Bruce's mother. And she said, I know she's very funny. No. He said, you really don't know Sally. Now, I know her when she was helping Lenny with his scripts up on
Right.
the hill. And Lenny encouraged her to be a comedian. She's got telegrams that Lenny sent her in the village when she first did it. And he said, you got to keep going. You know, you got to keep going. But anyway, her husband and I were friends.
Right.
And every time I see him, I tell him some story. And he said, oh, please, tell my friend that story. And he was really into me as a person. So when all this came about, he said to Joan, it had timing.
That's
It's timing.
timing.
When she had
That's right.
trouble with Carson, then she went to Fox. She was up in the air. For me to be able to impress her at any other time when she was busy,
Right.
it's all timing. She wasn't doing anything. She was unhappy. And her husband says, I want you to hear these tapes. She went crazy. One day she came to my door out of the clear blue. That's how it happened. She knocked at the door.
That's what happens.
And
in
that's
life.
what happened.
Yeah.
I said, who is it? She said, Joan. I said, Joan who? She said, how do you like that? I lose one job, nobody knows me. And she came with a cheesecake. Oh, I said, are you Jewish? She said, get my car. We went right to her house. She said, I'm going to do your life story.
She's not bitter, is she, Joan?
No, she's the sweetest
Isn't she?
and kindest.
I know.
When are people going to ever learn that the person that talks the loudest and talks fresh and comes on hard is the sweetest thing inside? He's just afraid
agree.
that somebody won't hurt him.
Heard him. That's right. I
Watch
agree.
out for those people who smile and
smile,
are very
yeah.
sweet and they never get mad. Take a walk
When you
back.
look for comedians and comics, when you go to the clubs, you see these young people. What do you see in them, Sally? You've been around for years, and your son is, you know, what do you actually...
I'll tell you what I see. I see a lot of people that are not themselves.
Even if their material's bad, you see...
Oh, I don't care about
But
that.
the material, because that... Go ahead.
No, I look at them and I say, I wonder if there's something inside they're afraid to do. I wonder if there's something inside. Now, that's how I develop people. You know that African kid, I call him African because they get mad at me if I call him black now.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name. Coswell.
Coswell. Yeah.
Now, he got up there, and I said to him, I want you to remember one thing. I'm going to help you, but you got to do something. You're doing something that you think they like.
Right.
Big mistake. I want you to do, that's what when I found
something
Pat.
that...
Do something that everybody said you can't do that. They won't let you. Who's they? I want to know who they is.
Yeah.
You're they.
Yes.
I said, I don't want to hear they. So I said, Coswell, and sure, I just told him that, and he called me back, and he said to me, oh, you're so right, you're so right. He said, now I developed this, listen. And once I get that out of somebody, I got him going. I always try to get who they are, because you know that everybody's different.
True.
John Wayne was a star because he was different. Betty Davis was a star when she said, I hate you. And I'm glad I hate you. If I didn't hate you, I'd lock you up.
Personality, individuality.
No, not even the personality. That's how she talks. I don't think I can do it. Because she never gave up her voice for a script. John Wayne never gave up his walk for a
Personality, dear. You develop your own personality and you stake with it. That's
no,
what
you
it
don't
is.
want to do anybody else. You want to be
you.
And the ones
It's a
that have that
personality.
kind of, and they develop into professional people, they have a better chance.
Your son, records, still selling. Lenny Bruce's records are still selling.
You know, I went to a bookstore and I couldn't find the books that are out on him. There's an upsurgence on Lenny because the generation grew up. It was the same thing when I tried to sell. Lenny died in 1966.
1966.
96, I went right out, and all I had, we lost the house, we lost everything, and all I had in a basket was tapes of Lenny.
That's it.
No money, no nothing. Kitty and I was dumb. I didn't know about real estate, that I could have lived there for a whole year. You know, I didn't know anything about that, you know. So I was staying in different people's houses with Kitty, and somebody said, oh, how could you be so cold? You know what they wanted to see? They wanted to see me tearing my hair out and crying, and they couldn't stand to see a strong person. I had to go on.
But you had strong people behind you, though. Sandy Barron, you had a lot.
Well, these are people I found.
Yeah, you found them. They found you, Sally.
No,
they
I don't think
loved
so.
you.
No.
Yes, yes, they loved you, Sally.
No, these are people that I all
Lots of wonderful
everybody
people. Jackie Gale.
No,
all
wait a
these...
minute. All these people that I discovered.
Yeah.
Jackie Gale was a drummer in my group. He couldn't. I don't want to say he couldn't talk, but he wasn't a stand-up comic. He was a drummer.
Yes.
But I saw what he had, because when he got off stage, he put everybody down. Don't tell me that. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk like that. He's no good. I'll tell you. I said to myself, this is a bitter man. If I could get that bitterness on stage, he's angry.
Yeah.
What is he so angry? His mother died when he was 14. He loved to eat. She was a good cook, and he was mad. And I told him that.
Loved to cook.
And he just loved me like this. I was his other mother. I said he loved food. He loved food, and his mother died. How dare she leave?
I love it.
Jeez, I gotta come home. I got nothing to eat. Where'd she go?
You know, Sally, there's a restaurant you go to all the time. It's called Cyril's Pomodoro in Etman. Cyril is from Roma, are you actually? Napoli. Napoli. Yeah. You have the marvelous restaurant in town, colorful restaurant. It is like colorful is your outfit. I love it.
Thank you very much for that.
Because you know why it's colorful? Because you go there not just to eat pasta or pizza.
Atmosphere.
It's the atmosphere. The people that come to see you.
You feel it when you walk in the door.
Isn't it great?
You walk in that door and you feel like you're loved.
Yeah. You are. Go ahead.
It's also thanks to you lately. We're getting a numbers of different people and crowds for this special show you've been putting on every Monday.
Yes, I've been putting the show on there on Monday nights
for you.
for you. Right.
Very remarkable what you're doing. And
but Cyril, before me, I mean, let's face it, you have the restaurant is bringing Cornell Wiles and Jacqueline Stallones and Sally Marrs and Jackie Gales, all these wonderful stars come in there.
Also mainly for the food as well, yeah. Also is the food, the quality.
The food.
Yeah.
And it's reasonable. It's reasonable.
The gimmick I always believed, not overpriced.
You have a place in London?
I have a place in London which I started about 10 years ago. And the one in Milan which has been there for 15 years, even though we call different over there. And one in Boca Raton in West Palm Beach, just opened last October.
Cheryl, tell me, were you actually from Naples, and did you come to
Napoli.
London first? Did you go to London to open?
I went to London middle of the 70s because I couldn't stand not to speak a word of English in Italy. I decided if I ever got to school in Italy, no way I will learn to speak English. And say their lifetime, you never do. So I picked up my luggage and I went to London, and that's it. That's why I came in America a year and a half ago.
I love your last name.
Orsini.
Are you related?
Orsini.
Are you?
No, my grandfather was related to the Orsini family, Rome.
They were.
Yeah, he was.
Because you're into wardrobe. I mean, everyone in town is talking about your wardrobe, all your jewels and everything. Tell me, what made you wear all this outfit? I mean, Liberace is Liberace, but you are, tell me.
Well, I don't think I can be Liberace myself.
No, but you're putting it on your chest, which is interesting.
Well,
Because I brought Susan Strasberg in your restaurant with a
True.
producer. And you know the producer got an idea for a script on him? Immediately. I told him, immediately.
Thank you, yes.
Yes. But you have singers and comedians on
We do
Monday
have-
nights?
Yes, we have a Monday night, it's a special show, and
Right.
also through the week we do tend to have different entertainers.
Uh-huh.
Very low-key background in music, you know, dining and music, but also very interesting, unusual.
What is the best dish in your restaurant? What's
It's a,
the-
you know,
you have a
vary
special?
from very good appetizers, from pasta to fish,
Uh-huh.
or you know, chicken,
Uh-huh.
veals. You know, there's quite a few combinations in our menu.
How did you
And,
meet this gentleman? I just got to know Sally Marr. I
The
really,
lady I fall in love
I
with
live in
lately.
Chabad.
because you're so close, but,
Chabad, that's an organization.
uh-huh,
Yeah, and I went there with Pat Morita. He was doing a money pitch, and Lee Wolford.
right.
And the rabbi said to me, you know, you're not allowed to hug a Chabad rabbi. And I said, really? I said, I think at the right time, I said, I think I could do a little more than that. He laughed, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So he says, he gave me his card, and he laughed. And he laughed, he gave me his card. He says, come in. And I never went over there. And I don't know, a while went back, and some girl called me up, and she said, you want to go to a good restaurant? I want to take you there to eat. They got the best food you ever tasted.
It is.
She said, a place called Chiro. It sounds so familiar. And I walked in, and he said, and he took my hand, he kissed my hand, Mr. Continental.
Yes. He does it all,
Wait a
to
minute,
all the
he does it
girls.
to everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't feel so important.
Even men, sometimes he kisses their cheeks back
Well,
and
if he
forth.
catches them.
That's
That's
continental.
because it's an Italian custom.
course.
That's a
usually.
custom, that's Continental.
Go ahead.
And he said to me, I knew you'd come back into my life. I said, what life?
I love it.
And we stayed friends ever since.
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
he told me that he was not only inspired, but obsessed by my son, Lenny.
Ah,
I said, really? I said, why? He said, if a young man,
an Italian man.
listen to this, and imagine
Yeah.
from the continent
Yeah.
to come and say that to me. He said, if a young man, I heard about him in America, could fight the system, he said, then what am I doing in this poverty? He said,
Yes.
I can go out and make something of myself. And he said, your son was the most greatest inspiration in my life. And he gave me memorabilia on Lenny, and I'm still in shock.
You know, you've traveled all over the world.
I did, yeah, for the last 15, 20 years in China.
You were in China. It's
I tried to do
fascinating.
some work over there, not mainly, was Taiwan mainly, some import exports.
Taipei, yes,
Yeah.
And you've traveled, and you
Yeah.
opened your, you had restaurants in these places, or just traveling?
No, doing some import exports on different things like, you know, canes for furnitures or liquor, food that takes from Italy to Taiwan. I mean,
Sure,
I've been-
what makes it a restaurant so successful, like Spago's? I mean, here's an example. Spago's.
Spago, a great
Lenny-
chef.
Huh?
A great chef as Spago itself, Wolfgang
think so?
Park. Well, that's what I heard about it, and I'm sure he's keeping his reputation as always he was.
Uh-huh.
I've been there a few times when I very first came in America,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't find his food very excellent.
It is.
Yeah.
And what makes your restaurant so popular right now? Your restaurant's getting to be very popular.
Well,
It's
I think
not-
is that they help also my personal piano I do around the town with the people around me. They do feel I'm trying really to take care of what I'm doing, and also not to be overpriced for what we're trying to be down
It
there.
isn't. No, it isn't.
And the food, the quality food is excellent, as far as I'm concerned.
I love the atmosphere there.
And the atmosphere is
You
what
have
it
an
makes.
Italian singer I put on sometimes on Monday nights.
It
I
is.
just
It's a
think
wonderful
he is
color.
wonderful. He's
He's
from Rome.
He's
and
from
he's a
Rome.
recording star from Rome. And I would like to bring him on right now.
Many years
Sally,
ago.
Yeah, pardon me?
Many years ago, it was very famous in Italy. I mean, a
He
few
was
years
famous?
ago, and he just came over in America
your-
to do some recording. And while he's over here, he came to help also my reputation in music in the restaurant
think he
by
is-
singing in there, and you know the applause he gets there is unbelievable.
Yes, he's wonderful. And
He's
I'd like to
wonderful.
bring him right now
I'd
on
love
stage.
to even to
His
hear.
name is Carlo Cinelli. Voila.
As the child within me sleeps, there are visions of a man laying out a master plan that the boy must learn to play. Lovely lady dressed in love, can't you see what I'm made of? And there's moments now to aspire. One more song in the fire. One more song in the fire. The city keeps the beat for the shadows on the street. Everyone a chance to meet like a merry-go-round. When the child has lost his dream, will his life as it seems? Will he wake to the stream of a war lived on the ground? If the law should intercede for the boy in time of need, will the man inside take heed? Oh no, hear about the sound. Are the hopes from yesterday just the seeds for fears today? I'll take leave on one more day. I shall for a game the child can play. Hidden dreams within the man still attempt to reach the day. But lost along the way, only traveled by the young. Lovely lady in my night, are you taken by the sight of the male mask conspire? One more song in the fire. One more song in the fire. The city keeps the beat for the shadows on the street. Everyone a chance to meet like a merry-go-round. When the child has lost his dream, will his life be as it seems? Will he wake to the extreme of the war lived on the ground? If a law should intercede for the boy in time of need, will the man inside the kid on a tear blood the sound? Had the hope from yesterday just the seeds for fears today? I take leave of one more day. I should fall again the child can play. One more soul in the fire. One more soul in the fire. One more soul in the fire. One more soul in the fire.
Wonderful, Carlo. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Carlo Signelli, tell me, Carlo, tell me something. Where are you actually from?
From Genova.
Genova.
Yeah.
Ah.
You remember Cristoforo Columbus?
See.
Yeah.
Tell me something. Roma, you have a big record in Roma. What is the name of it? This wasn't it.
RCA.
RCA.
Yeah, American.
Oh, okay.
But in Rome, Rome is my second city
I see.
because Rome and
Are you-
Milan for singers are the best.
Now, what made Carlo Signelli come from why to California, not to New York? Because there's so much Italians in New York.
Because I feel Los Angeles is the center of the world for the music, for the musicians.
Ah, for the recordings.
Yeah, for
I
the
see.
recordings,
Is that what you're
for
here
the
for?
technica, for the
Uh-huh.
for the everything.
I see. What made you sing this? What made you sing this particular song today? Because it's such a great number. I love it. Because I've seen you sing other songs, but this particular song. What made you do this?
In particular songs because I feel this song. It is mine, you know.
Yeah, I see.
And One More Soul on the Fire means the people, means today.
Thank you, Carlo. That was wonderful, wasn't it, Sally? God, wasn't he? Wonderful singer, isn't he?
What a
Bravo,
voice.
wasn't it?
Bravissimo.
Yes. He's singing every
Monday night.
just Monday nights only.
Occasionally,
Yeah.
when he's there as a guest, some
Yes.
customers says, "Please, can you sing a song?"
Yes.
He's going home.
God, we had Martha Ray on the other night. Martha
correct.
Ray came into the club the other night, and she sang some songs. And you know, she took her teeth out. I loved it, and dropped her teeth
what
right
I
into
do.
the glass. I loved it. Wasn't that fabulous? You weren't there that night, were you?
No, but
No,
I
it
do
was
that
the-
with my teeth.
You do?
And I never got a commercial. She got it first.
She certainly did.
She stole my teeth. Can I mention one more thing?
You may mention anything you wish
Frankie
to.
Ray, Chiro,
Yeah.
are planning to do a foundation
Foundation for Lenny.
for Lenny Bruce,
Lenny Bruce.
and the Hall and the Walk of Fame. And Frankie is getting that on. Frankie Ray.
Oh,
I'm putting Lenny on
And
the
him.
Walk of Fame, and also I'm
Him
planning
and-
to work on this foundation, especially in
That's
a week or so we
wonderful.
start to move on.
oh, that's
So
great.
Isn't that
all we want
wonderful?
to do is to keep the spirit alive of Lenny. That's all.
You want to keep the life of Lenny going.
Spirit.
Of course,
Yeah, the
spirit,
spirit's alive.
Of course.
And also to help these young comedians, which they need some help and support.
But
So
Sally, yeah, you know something? You're doing great for all these young comedians around town. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you're helping a lot of people, not just comedians, singers too. You help
Oh,
singers
always.
too.
Oh, anybody that's in the business.
Any business.
Anything. The
You support
directors,
them
the
all.
morally supported them.
What keeps Sally's energy going?
My
God, girl,
acupuncturist.
You are just out there
I ask
every
myself
night.
sometimes how
Roger-
she can manage all
Roger-
those
She's out
through
there
his years.
every night here
Unbelievable.
in
Roger Hirsch, my acupuncturist. I want you to go there.
You just
Keeps
keep
your
your.
energy up.
It's more busy you are.
You know how sick I was last year?
Yes,
You
I
see
do.
me walk like this?
Yes, but you kept working. You kept walking, and you kept
You don't
out
know.
there.
I used to walk like this, and somebody said, "What's she doing?
She's drunk.
Is she drunk?"
Uh-huh.
He'll tell you. I used to hold on to the wall.
unbelievable.
Because I had to meet a comedian. He needed
Yeah.
some advice, and that's why I walk.
You do give a lot of advice to young comics, don't you?
Well, what do you think you can teach?
Can't. You got to go out there and let them work it and
Look
find
what
out
you do.
themselves.
Let's talk about you for 1 second.
I don't wanna talk
you
about
don't
me.
know what you've done for people. Every time I talk to a comedian and a singer, it says, if it wasn't for Skippy, I wouldn't be where I am.
Oh, I just
and now
put
listen
them up.
to this.
But that's
I said, I can believe that because I know a lot of people wouldn't be where they are, but not everybody listens because they can't relate.
yes, yes.
When they relate to you, you can help them.
yeah.
You can't teach anybody. Come on. Did you listen to your mother? No. Did I? No. That was the best advice, and that was for nothing.
Joan Rivers, the movie. When is
Yeah,
it coming
Joan
out?
Rivers.
When is it coming?
Joining us at this time are two very talented women. As vivacious as her hair is bright, as scintillating as her gowns are shimmery, one of our guests is the dynamic singer-comedian Kay Stevens. Also with us is one of our foremost jazz singers. With few peers in her category, she's Anita O'Day. And now, here's your man of the half hour, Skippy Lowe.
Kay Stevens. Killing him at the Roosevelt last night.
Yes,
What a night.
It was outrageous.
Red Buttons?
Red Buttons,
Oh,
yeah.
you had them all there
Gene
last
Barry,
night. Gene
Stephanie
Barry.
Powers,
And Dennis Cole.
Dennis Cole, Barbara Eden, Telly Savalas,
And Martha Ray.
Martha Ray.
What
Yeah,
an
it was
evening.
great.
At the
It's
Senior Grill.
outrageous. Yeah.
But why was the Hamburger Hamlet? What was that all about?
Well, you see, I had invited everyone for dinner and the show because I thought Cine Grill meant that there was a grill at the Cine Grill, but there is no grill at the Cine Grill.
there isn't.
So then I was stuck. So I said, why don't we have dinner elsewhere? So of course I invited them all to the Hamburger Hamlet for dinner before the show. And we had everyone arrive at the Hamburger Hamlet, and we all had hamburgers, and then we walked the walk of fame and down the street. And
Throwing confetti?
confetti and balloons and the whole 9 yards, yes.
That was a lot of fun.
It was outrageous. It was
Yeah.
great fun. Yes.
Energy. What
Lot of energy.
you have when
Yes.
you walk on that stage.
Yes.
Why does Kay Stevens have so much energy? I mean,
There's several reasons if you really want to know. First of all, I take vitamins. I take very good care of myself.
Right.
I don't drink, I don't smoke, and everything else is on hold. And yes, and I do a thing called the Seymour system that I learned from a gal in Florida, Gladys Seymour Davis, who taught me how to, by circulation therapy, bring up my own energy. So I know how to do that. I've learned that from her. So you can literally sit down for about a half an hour, and just by utilizing your own energy from yourself, your hands, and working your hands and working your joints and whatever, and your face, you can actually bring up your energy by
it's
yourself.
not the crystals.
No, no crystals. It's your
your
own
natural.
energy. It's the fat of your own body. For my face, for example, I could never have a facelift because I'm so allergic to what is it? The that they give you, they put over your face, the knockout.
I don't know.
Anesthetics.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to that,
You
so
are.
I can never have a facelift. So she taught me how to give myself a facelift, how to do it with my hands, to circulate.
Interesting. And does it
Yeah.
work?
Well, I think I look pretty good.
You certainly do. Where does Kay Stevens come from originally?
I was born in Pittsburgh. I was raised in Cleveland, Ohio. I started singing as soon as I left the womb.
Did you really?
I came out singing. The doctors in the hospital called me the little kid with the big voice. I
You
was
and
a
Ethel Merman.
premature. That's it, yes. And I've been singing ever since.
You have. But do you know something, Kay Stevens?
Yes.
Lots of people, interns, the movie.
The movie, The Interns, yeah.
Tell me, you had the whole cast there last
The
night.
cast, yeah. Actually, it was The Interns and The New Interns. That was the first film I ever made. I was in Las Vegas at the Riviera Hotel.
Right.
And there was a guy that was there when I would come off stage every night. For about 3 nights, I'd come off stage and they'd say, gee, you're terrific. I'm going to put you in movies. I'd say, sure you would, honey. I got it. And I'd walk away from him. And then he was there the next night. He said, I'm not kidding. I want to put you in movies. I said, sure you do, big guy. And I walked away. Third time he stopped me. He said, I'm not kidding. I said, I'm sure you're, you know, whatever. And the next day I got a script, and the next day I was in the movies. My first movie was The Interns. I did very well in that. David Swift was there last night. He's the director. Bobby Cohen produced both of them, and then I was in The New Interns.
And you had the stars there, too.
Yes.
Was it Barbara Eaton who was there,
Barbara
too?
Eden, yeah, Stephanie was there.
Stephanie Powers.
Stephanie Powers, and Annie Helm. George, not Maharis, he was in another
George
film.
Firth.
George Firth was
Yeah.
in there, but Mickey Callan was there as well. Telly Savalas. And Cliff Robertson and George Segal were both in New York, so they couldn't be here.
Who wrote this act last night? That act.
I wrote it.
You did?
I write all my music.
You
I
write
write
all
of it.
Really?
Yes, they're all my charts. I do them all. Yeah.
But you keep the energy all the way up.
Well, you see,
Never
I'm so,
down.
Yeah, you know why?
Okay.
I'm so sick and tired of sad songs. I don't sing sad songs anymore. I don't have time for them. Everything that I do is positive. I don't do anything negative in my act because I have no time for negative people or negativity. I'm working on an album now of music that is inspirational, motivational, spiritual pop. Not to be confused with Christian contemporary, no. I call it holy hip. So when I sing the songs that I sing, they're songs that always make people feel good about themselves. I mean, it's a strange thing. I worked with Rip Taylor last week.
In Florida?
In Florida at the Burt Reynolds Theater.
And I heard
we
it was
were there.
big.
We were smash, just absolutely smash run. We were jam-packed every night. And what we did, I did my act, we had an intermission, and then of course Rip did his act.
Right.
But the bottom line of that was that the two of us together were so forceful and so powerful in terms of positive energy.
Right.
That we had people who had either cancer or a lot of AIDS people. We had people who, women who had lost breast or widows or whatever.
Yes.
And a lot of manic depressives. I'm very big with manic depressives. But they would come in and see the show, and they would laugh. They would have such a good time, and they would go and get their friends and bring them in from the hospices. We had probably 10 to 35 people from different hospices every night. I work with the people, with hospice people. I work with children in the rehab centers. And that's where I learned the song Friends, from the kids in the rehab.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and the kids in this particular rehab center, anywhere from 6 to 18 years of age, and they have problems with drugs and alcohol, of course. And that's the song, The Friends Are Friends Forever, is a song I learned from them.
Days of Our Life.
Yes.
9 years?
9 years.
God, that's a long time on the show.
I learned to be an actress.
You learned to be an
actress?
actress.
I sure did. I can cry from this eye, 3 tears, or 4 tears from this eye, yeah.
Learning the scripts every day, though.
78 pages a day.
Really?
It got to a point, Skippy, where I could actually go to the store. You could give me 200 items and let me loose in the store, and I would memorize the 200 items. I got so good at memory. You know, your muscles, your memory muscles stretch.
Clubs. You worked a lot of clubs, Kay
I've
Stevens.
been everywhere.
Vegas.
I got my start, actually I got my start at the Riviera in Las Vegas.
From the top.
Yeah.
With who? Who was the star? Who was the comedian? You worked Don Rickles, Shecky?
No,
or?
first I was with Lionel Hampton. He had 28 guns and a cannon.
Did you really?
I remember, yes, with Lionel Hampton and Count Basie. And then, of course, Don Rickles and
Don
Rickles, fabulous.
I worked with him,
Shecky
too.
Green.
I worked with Don.
Yeah.
And I also worked with Shecky.
Yeah. And, of course, Toady Fields. Oftentimes, I think, I wish to God that I had known about this Seymour system that I do, you know, when Toady was alive. Because
you were very close, weren't you?
Yeah, it would have saved her life.
It would have?
Yeah, because she wanted to have, she had a sugar diabetes, of course, and they didn't want to do a facelift. But if she had known about the Seymour system that I've learned, I think it would have saved her life. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to live. I'll show you how to do it.
Really? I love to.
Yeah.
You know who we have sitting next to you is one of America's great jazz singers. Hello, Anita O'Day.
Good morning.
Good morning. She's good morning.
I got jet lag. I just came in from Rome.
Rome? You've been all over the world.
I know,
I mean,
but I'm still...
You just got in. Opening at the Vine Street?
No, not the per day. It's been 2 days, but I still got jet lag. Hi, babe.
Hi, sweetheart.
Jet lag.
Jet lag!
Good girl.
22 hours. Can you believe it?
I love Rome.
From Rome?
22 hours?
That's a long time, honey.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, you wait here and you wait there, but you put it all together. You're on your feet. You know.
Anita O'Day. And when
Skip
I think
with
of
an
Anita,
E. Skippy.
Skippy. When I think of Anita O'Day, good God, I think of one of the greatest jazz. But Martha Ray had a lot to do with Miss Anita O'Day.
Well, she was an early She was an early influence.
Really?
Indubitably.
Okay.
Don't ask me to spell it.
No, I was going to say. Where are you from, Anita O'Day?
My mother.
Originally.
Chicago.
Chicago.
Attaboy, right.
I love Chicago.
I heard you say previous that's a great city.
It is. It's my favorite city in the world.
I left in 1921. No, 31. When did I leave? 21. When I was 21. Whatever. I'm 70 now. And I'm still
Come on,
swinging.
Anita O'Day, 70. Don't say
Read
that.
the paper.
Really? You
got an ad for the club. It says, come and see Anita O'Day. She's 70.
70 years.
Can you imagine a club owner doing that to you? Now everybody knows.
You're at the Vine Street Grill, killing them.
Vine Street Bar and Grill.
And
yes,
it's a great.
It's around the corner from the Pantages.
Right.
Across the street from the old Huntington.
And next door to the Brown Derby.
Old Brown Derby.
The old Brown Derby.
Everything is the old days.
You're right. But you've been around Hollywood many years, haven't you?
I lived there 40 years, just down the street. Vineland and DeLongpre. Lived there for years.
Anita O'Day.
You keep saying that.
Well, because it's, you know why I keep saying that?
Oh my gosh, you dropped your mouthpiece.
That's okay, darling.
Well, wait, I'll fill in for you. He's putting his mouthpiece back. Here it comes down. There you go.
Anita.
Yes, love.
Traveling all over the world.
Yes.
At what
I've
age?
flown around the
What?
world in
But
a
you were with
plane.
bands, big bands.
yes.
I mean, Gene Krupa.
Gene Krupa, Stan Kenton, Woody Herman, and the Benny Goodman All-Stars overseas.
Right.
Right.
You worked everywhere in this world.
And I'm still out there.
What is your la 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 la? What is those secrets of your jazz notes? There's
The secret of my jazz notes?
Yes, darling. There's that certain quality that goes la 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 But Martha Ray was telling me last night, there's no one in the world has more notes than you
Oh,
sing.
well, I practice.
There's notes.
You know, like there's 8 on the board, on
Right.
the piano, right?
Right.
And from 1 to 8, then you repeat, right?
Right.
But there's also 5 black notes, which gives you 13 notes
That's
to play
it.
with.
That's it.
So you can rephrase a lot of notes that way, and I do.
You
I never sing the song the same twice.
Never.
Well, maybe it falls that way, but I don't plan it. I play it by the tempo it's called.
I heard.
It's a rhythm, it's a balance.
Is it?
Yeah.
The kids today. What do you think? What young jazz singers? Do we have any?
What young jazz singers?
Yeah.
What? No, where I live in a trailer up in the mountains. I'm just here for this engagement, and then I go home.
Where up in the mountains?
Hemet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the San Jacinto Mountains.
Uh-huh.
And nobody up there plays music. Everybody's retired. Nobody plays music. We got one guy plays guitar out of meter.
Right.
So I avoid him. Avoid him.
Uh-huh.
Then we got a piano player that comes to the clubhouse occasionally.
Uh-huh.
I go outside for a walk
Right.
and get you away. But then when I'm working, I'm in the cities, middle.
You've had some hard times and bad times in your life. But this High Times and Hard Times is your new book.
It just came out a week ago Monday. Brand new. George Eels and
Everything's in here, Anita. I mean,
most everything. It
I'm
starts
not going
when
to talk
I'm
about drugs
13.
because we're not going to talk
The
about
drugs.
drugs.
Is in there.
In there?
Oh yeah.
Because you
20
were
years ago.
20 years ago, and you cleaned yourself.
It's in there.
You cleaned
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Do you feel better now about that?
Oh, sure. Well, that was just a stage in life. Like, you want to do this, you want to do that. And at that time, that's what everybody was doing.
Exactly.
Where I was hanging out, Long Beach. That was the one.
You never took drugs, did
They
you,
put
Kay,
me
when
in
you were
jail in
young?
Long Beach.
Never?
No, my
Because
mother
she'll-
would kill me.
Your mother?
My mother
traveled
would
with
kill
you?
me. No, never traveled. She'd just kill me.
I see.
No, I drank a lot of champagne, though. I used
I
to
see.
drink a lot of champagne. I don't do that anymore.
Chicago, Illinois is such a
I
good...
drank since I was 12.
Were you a singer at
That
12?
toddle in town.
When did Anita Day started? At what age?
I joined a walkathon when I was 13.
13.
Left school and joined the walkathon.
Uh-huh.
It's in the book.
It's all in here.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it, and I'm going to tell you something.
You're going to give it back to me, too. It's the
But
only
you
one
know,
I
you
got.
and I worked in Germany for Giesler Gunter at the NCO Club and Wiesbaden, I think at Wiesbaden or Rhine-Main, one of the bases.
You're talking about the 60s.
And the 60s.
Well, I was
You
there
were-
at 88.
Yeah.
And we were playing different
Yeah,
areas.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah. But that's a long time ago. I haven't seen you.
Well,
in-
it's nice of you to remember.
I
Skip.
remember Anita Day and all the boys. You entertained many, many troops all over the world, and they love Anita
With the big
Day.
bands, we did a
With the
lot
big-
of that in the 40s.
Did you enjoy doing that?
Sure. Better than sitting home watching television.
What do you think about the big
Right?
bands? Yeah, right.
She
What do-
laughs.
What do you think about the big bands coming back, Anita?
Well, here's a double whammy. May 23rd this year,
Right.
which is like very soon,
Right.
I'm opening at Michael's Pub
In New York.
in New York City
Right.
with the G Gruber Orchestra. Da-da-da.
Wonderful.
Well, somebody bought the book,
Right.
the music, and he's going to front it, and I'm going to sing.
How wonderful.
Isn't that cute?
It's not cute.
Good idea. So the big bands are back,
Yeah.
at least for 6 weeks in New York.
Tell me about your experience when you went to Honolulu to clean your system out. You say you
The
love.
experience?
You said
Oh,
you
well,
wanted
first
to.
of all, I didn't know any connections there, so I was cleaning. When you get sick, like, what do? You, like, run to the beach.
You were ill
And
then.
then when you're freezing, you lay in the hot sun. And when you get the sweats of which you've heard about, you
Right.
jump in the ocean.
Right.
So every day I went to the beach.
And that cleaned your system.
And that saved my life. I did
That
that,
really
for
saved your
5
life?
months every day. And the next thing you know, I got to be normal. I got to smell the flowers, as they say.
Uh-huh.
You know, you get back, it's straighten up. And I went to New York and worked in the village for 1 year at a place called the Half Note, a jazz joint
Half Note,
down, way
yes.
down by the waterfront.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Zoot Sims was there.
Uh-huh.
People like that, Al Cohen, the people.
How about Chet Baker? You just saw him just
I saw
before
him
he
in
died.
Paris last
Uh-huh.
year. Yeah, he wasn't looking too good.
He wasn't,
he
was
looked
he?
poorly. Yes.
Yeah, I knew him in the 60s too, out in Paris.
A lot
We
of
were-
people quit the junk. I don't believe he did. I don't know. We didn't discuss it.
Right.
Although we used
Do you
to hang
think
out
he?
together.
Yeah. Do you
know.
think he was still on Anita?
I got to think so. You know,
You
as
think-
I said, we didn't discuss it.
It's difficult to get off of that stuff, isn't it?
It's
Anita?
that easy.
It's
I was
not.
real lucky.
You had a lot of pain at the beginning.
It's an inner itch. What can I can't explain it. You got to experience and you got to have the courage to fight it. You know, that's it. They were dropping dead around me. I says, I'm getting out of here. You know, gone.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, go ahead, John.
There's a sax player that I've always been mad crazy for. His name is Don Bias. Do you know him? Do you know he's in Paris, is he?
Well, I know the word. I read about him. I really don't know him.
Yeah.
good horn player.
Good, yeah. I wondered if you had heard about him in Paris.
No,
Nope.
I don't. I didn't go out. I only had 4 days there, and you spend your time at the hotel.
Yeah, sure.
Really, you know the hotel, you know the club.
Uh-huh.
If you're lucky, you get out one afternoon and see what's happening.
Yes,
I
true.
didn't have that time. It was raining at that time, so that took care of that. Sorry,
Anita
love.
O'Day, do you have any regrets in your life? After, you know, this book is coming out now.
This
And
book
ju-
is out,
yeah. Looking back over your career,
Regrets?
do you have any?
Yeah, my
mean,
life
you've had
isn't over. I'm just beginning.
I know. Well, would
I've
you?
been married
would you?
since '52. It's my turn. You know, where are you?
Would you do it the same way? Had you had a good
Oh,
time? You
I
think
had
you would?
a very good time.
You've
sure.
had?
I didn't pre-plan it. You know,
Right.
just fell where you go, like the way I sing. You know, the thoughts, the notes come, the feeling. And
I mean, you have
lay
a
it on
lot of
top.
pain in your life. You know, people don't take drugs or drink until they must have some pain. I feel. There was got to be a reason.
I didn't do it for the pain. If I want, like last night, I overdrank. Right? I did it because I was happy,
I see.
and I want to get happier. you
I
know?
see. So you do enjoy drinking. You do
Oh,
enjoy. it.
Yeah,
I see.
absolutely.
So you
like
would-
the next day. But
Anita O'Day, you wouldn't do. Would you do your life the same way though? Would you do it the same way? Looking
Well,
back,
I'm pretty sure I would. Sure.
you would.
Oh yeah.
So you would. Would
it
you
was
say?
an interesting life, adventure. I traveled around.
Right.
You know.
Would you say you had a good time in your life?
I would say I did. Yeah. I would say so. Really.
Kay,
Yes.
looking back over your life, you know, you work cabarets just like Anita
Mm-hmm.
O'Day. Maybe a little different, but because she worked jazz rooms, but you're both night ladies.
Oh, yes.
You're both night ladies,
Mm-hmm.
and
We
you sleep
function
all
very
day.
well
Do
at
you
night.
get? I mean, you don't get up at 9 o'clock in the morning.
No,
you
no,
guys
no,
get up
no.
at 1 o'clock.
No,
That is
10,
your day.
10 or
10 o'clock.
11.
Is
10
it?
or 11.
Would you
Then
do
I
your
go out
life
and
the
walk.
same way, Kay?
I would do exactly what I did.
Really?
Yeah. I drank the best champagne when I drank.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was the DP kid. Dom Perignon was my drug of choice.
How about Broadway?
Broadway, I've done Broadway.
Yeah.
I've done everything but opera
Opera.
and porno.
Opera and porno.
Opera, I've never done porno, but I'm thinking about it. I'm
Uh-huh.
thinking about
Thinking about you do it and doing opera.
I don't know. I tried
You
everything
have a
twice.
great voice.
Thank
A
you.
great, big, strong voice.
Thank you.
Ethel Merman.
Yes.
How about doing something from Ethel Merman's life?
As
Would
a
you like
matter
to
of
do
fact,
that?
when I was in Florida, they asked me to do Gypsy. Strange.
Right.
Yeah, I thought
yes,
about
you would
that.
be wonderful as Madame Rose.
Yeah, they all say that. So we'll see.
Do you
and
write?
then I was asked to do a Martha Ray's life.
You're kidding.
Yes,
Are they doing something on Martha?
I think
right
they are. That would be the greatest honor of my life, would be to do anything dealing with Martha Ray. I guess we both have.
Yes, Anita, what
have,
made
wonderful
you?
feelings
What
about
made
Martha.
you feel about Martha Ray when you saw her in a movie? Tell me about when you were just a very young girl. When you saw Martha Ray in
Early
her first
teens, yeah.
early teens,
Mhm.
it was her first film, and you saw it. Tell me about them.
Well, let's see if I can recall. I haven't been asked that question ever. Well, I think it was, first of all, she's a natural.
Right.
You know, she's not planning this and that, and, you know, she's a natural.
Yeah.
That was A. And B, she's got this big mouth and a lot of chops, you know,
Uh-huh.
which is interesting because she's not an opera singer, and I didn't care for that at all. Sorry, old girl. But then the other one was she did ad-lib.
Uh-huh.
Then she can also sing in time.
In
and
time.
she sings in time very good,
God, didn't she?
which is what impressed me because I don't have chops,
Right.
but you can't catch me off time.
No one can throw you off time, huh?
No, I got that. See, that's where,
Yeah.
that's my forte.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what made it. I see.
That's it.
Because when you hear singers, and if they
They,
go off,
they
if they
bore
drive
me.
you crazy,
They
don't
bore me.
they bore you?
Sinatra's the worst
Why does he bore you?
because he drags. The band is carrying him.
And he leans back on the
Interesting.
band.
That's
He leans on the
interesting.
band all the
Yeah.
time. That's why he's still
Sinatra
singing.
leans on the band.
Mhm. All the time.
How about Liza and Sam
I
Davis?
can't stand her at all.
You can't.
Oh,
Who's some of your
Anita,
favorite? Who's some of your
no.
favorite singers?
She's got
Anita?
3 riffs and she uses them in every bar. You know,
Uh-huh.
no,
Who's
good.
some of your
no,
favorite
No
singers?
ideas, you know.
Who are some of your favorite singers?
Well, it's
about
got a
Chris?
Jackie Paris.
Jackie Paris.
Yeah, he plays guitar
Plays
and
guitar and
sings
sings,
from
great.
the band. He's a New Yorker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he sings real good. Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross. Lambert Hendricks is still out there.
Right.
He's got a lot to say. He's very good.
Interesting, isn't it?
Girls, Ella got too commercial for me. I had to let her go. Let's see, who else was making it? Pinky Lee was making it. It's a girl singer, but she didn't get.
Pinky Lee?
Pinky Lee.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
a-
comic, yeah. But
I know,
there is a
but
girl
there-
singer,
yeah,
Pinky Lee?
and she was starting to go, and then she had a little trouble there, and she's no longer with us.
Uh-huh.
But
Jazz
who
rooms.
does it? Who does it? See?
Jazz rooms. What's happening in America? Is it dying art, or is it, what's happening with it?
The jazz itself.
Jazz
I just opened a club in Hong Kong. I was the opener.
That's
So
in
it's
Hong
not
Kong,
dead.
in America. In
Oh, in
America.
America.
England and France and up in Norwegian countries, Amsterdam, they
I
love
tell you,
jazz.
jazz is so funny right now. I just
Right.
did 4 days in Oakland at a Japanese place.
Uh-huh.
That's where jazz is.
Yeah.
Really?
They got no place to put it.
Yeah.
They sell sushi and jazz. Isn't that funny?
In that order.
Who are some of the comedians you've worked with that you
Comedians?
really have learnt a lot
I
from?
thought you were going to ask me who my favorite singers
Well,
were.
I will.
I like
Who-
Sting.
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 Oh,
I'm
really?
crazy mad for Sting.
Okay.
I mean, he's the only rock star I really would like to meet
Uh-huh.
for a long time. I love him. He has a lot to say lyrically.
Uh-huh.
I like it. I like his voice. I like his style.
Kay Stevens, you're
Yes.
at the Hollywood Roosevelt.
I'm at the Hollywood
And tell me
Roosevelt.
something. Are you going to stay in
Centigrade.
Hollywood, or just you're going to be opening somewhere? When do you open? You're opening in New York somewhere?
Well,
Or-
no, it's actually Florida.
Florida.
I'm going down to Florida to finish. I have to do some work on it. I did a BL Striker,
Uh-huh.
which will be on, I guess, Monday or next Monday or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I have to do some voiceovers. I may do it here. I have to do that. And
Uh-huh.
then I'm going to New York as well. But I'm doing some private shows. I won't be working at club there.
You do a lot of club dates.
A lot of club dates. And then I go back to Orlando, and I've been asked to do a television series.
Very
yes,
good.
so
Uh-huh.
we'll see what happens with that.
You
a
seem-
lot of the movie industry is moving to Orlando now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're wonderful studios.
Orlando, Florida, because of
Orlando,
Disney.
Florida, because the
Disney?
studio facilities
Yeah.
are fantastic
I
there.
see.
It's a lot cheaper than film here, I guess.
Anita O'Day,
Yes, sir.
spiritual.
Pardon me?
You look spiritual to me. Are you spiritual?
Spiritual?
You seem like you're very spiritual.
Oh, I am.
You seem tough to me, but you're not really. You're a sweetheart underneath that. you
I
make
just kinda
people.
play it.
Why do you make people feel that you're tough, but you're not?
No, I kind
of
of like
What?
stay by myself and they misunderstand it.
because I see it. You're very. You seem like you're a little toughy, but you're not really. You're
No
a very
way.
sweetheart.
I'm a loney.
You're lonely.
I'm alone a lot, yeah.
Most
like it
big
that way.
superstars are alone
Yeah.
a lot.
But it's true. You're alone at
Super.
the top.
Yeah.
But I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. How's
Yes,
that?
you're happy.
You know, I go to the club,
you enjoy yourself.
and I live in a trailer. When it rains, I hear it. I'm not in a hotel, which is depressing, right? I got her laughing. I got a dog about this big.
Uh-huh.
She
What kind
follows
of a
me.
dog? What do you have?
Yorkie.
Uh-huh.
She follows me around the trailer. I got 3 bicycles. If somebody wants to go with me, I
Uh-huh.
take bike rides every day. I have a place to cook if I want to. I really don't know how.
I don't either.
So I really don't know how.
Uh-huh.
I cook it, then I can't eat it, then
Uh-huh.
I go out. So fortunately, I can still, go out.
So you really
And so
enjoy.
my days are full. And this year is really packed full of like appointments, engagements. So I'm swinging right now. Thank you, Sticky.
You've done about 500 records, at least 500, haven't you? And you don't
In the
have
book
them all.
It tells you.
It
in
is?
the
I didn't
discog-
read the book. You
the
just handed it to me.
discography, It's at the back. Discography
tell
tells you
you
every tune I've ever done. They got 50 pages.
And you don't have all those records either. You like to find some of those
Oh,
recordings,
I
don't
don't
you?
think so.
No?
I think my friend Alan has them.
Alan Eichler.
Right.
Tell me something. What is your favorite? You've done so many. It's got to be one of your favorites. What's one of your favorites?
Well, it would be the arrangement more than the song. Like I
Okay.
like certain arrangements, you
I
know.
see. Okay.
And I think Billy May. I did an album with
Billy May.
May.
Uh-huh.
And that was really nice.
Right.
I enjoyed it, and I thought it had a lot to say.
Bob Everly. Tell me about Bob Everly. Sweetheart,
I don't
isn't he?
know Bob.
You don't?
Now, he was with Jimmy Dorsey's
Dorsey.
band.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He was a sweetheart. Did you know Bob Everly?
No, but I tell you, I met the 4 freshmen when I first started out in the business.
There's lovely fellows.
Yeah, and Flanagan, Bob Flanagan. I used to run away. I used to run away from places to see these people. And I saw Stan Kenton's band, and I of course saw the freshmen. And I would sneak in the back of these nightclubs because I was like 13, 14. I
Yes.
shouldn't have been there, but I knew the cooks. So I go in to listen to music, and I remember Bob Flanagan came by at one night in Cleveland at Moe's Main Street, and I grabbed his sleeve. I'll never forget it. And I looked up at him and I said, Mr. Flanagan, I would like to be in show business and I would like to sing. What do you think I should do? And he had a big bass then, you know, not the, he's got a Fender, electric Fender now. But he looked down at me, he said, well, kid, he said, you sing whenever you can, as often as you can, to whoever you can.
That's right.
That's what he said. And I saw him about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I saw him about 3 weeks ago, and I said, Mr. Flanagan, I'm still pulling on his leg, on his, well, whatever I was pulling on, but I got his attention. But he said, aren't you the kid? I said, yeah. And I said, I'm still singing. I'm still doing what you, he said, sing for me now. And I did, and he got tears in his eyes. And he said, yeah, you know, you're okay. I said, so are you. Because of him, I'm in this business.
Kay Stevens and Anita O'Day,
Yes.
young singers out there. You know, is that what you would tell them? What would you
Same
tell
thing.
them?
I'd
Same
tell 'em
thing. That's what
Really?
I just said.
Is that what you would tell them?
Absolutely.
Keeps even a barn. It doesn't matter where it is.
Sing anywhere, anybody will listen.
That's it.
Anyone.
Go to all the jam sessions. That's where I got my start.
That's what
Just
Patty
be
Andrews
there.
said. Patty Andrews said, anyone who can listen,
Yeah, just
sing,
do it.
keep doing it.
That's right.
And especially today, because now I still do it. I go to rest homes and to retirement homes. I go to hospitals. I go to the hospices.
That's nice.
I go to the AIDS wards, and I sing. I have to take a tape with me, and I sing my songs.
You sing for the AIDS.
Yes, I sure do.
You do help
Yes,
these wonderful
I'm involved
people.
with. There's Louise. Are you familiar with Louise Hay? She has.
No, I'm not.
Well, she has a healing circle here in Los Angeles. She has them all over the country.
So you
and I'm
don't let
involved.
people know about you doing these things. You
No,
just,
I don't.
You don't let. That's
No.
nice. You just
No,
do it
it's just something that I do, but I think that it's worthwhile. I think when people are really sick and perhaps they don't have that much longer to go, that you can really help them over the threshold to
Yes.
to the better place they're going to.
So Kay Stevens is spiritual, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm
Huh?
very spiritual,
You
I
are?
think.
Do you have a
Yeah.
man in your life, Kay?
Do I have a man in my life?
Yes. You've been married 4
I have a
times,
higher
or-
power in my life.
A
I
higher
have-
power.
I have a higher power in my life.
Uh-huh.
I have a God of my understanding
Uh-huh.
that I pray to every day. I have certain prayers that I say. Every morning I wake up and I say, Lord, show me the person you wish to speak to through my life today.
How lovely.
And obviously it's you and Anita today.
Uh-huh.
And then the other thing that I say is God, thank you for everything you've given me. Thank you for everything you've let me keep. And thank you for everything you've taken away.
That's lovely.
And then the third one is this: you are God, I am not. Those are my 3 prayers. And I pray those every day, and I kind of live them.
That's lovely.
It works.
It does work, yes.
Mhm.
Anita,
Yes, sir.
starting your day. You know, you do a lot of rehearsals and lots of traveling.
Lots of traveling.
Anita O'Day, you know, when you get up in the morning, you thank God for everything, right?
No, I say it when I go to sleep.
Oh, you say it when you go to sleep. Ah, I see.
Now I lay me down to rest. When I awake, I'll do my best.
Been married,
By the way,
Anita
I
O'Day?
like that.
Has Anita O'Day been married?
Twice.
Twice.
Read the book.
Everyone in Hollywood, they wanna be a star, and everybody knows someone who knows someone who is. There's an agent, and he's hanging out at every other corner, and 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 at every other bar. In Hollywood, yes, I'm glad to be in Hollywood.
Lowe again. Joining us today is a woman who was an administrator with NBC before becoming a long-term fixture on CBS. The better half of TV's most famous neighbors since the Mertzes, Helen Willis of the Jeffersons. She's the stylish Roxie Roker. And now, manifesting his own style, here's your man of the half hour, Skippy Lowe.
Hi. Helen, hi. Helen Willis, is it? Helen Willis, next door neighbor, upstairs door neighbor?
That's right.
My.
To the Jeffersons.
That's a heavy one.
It was lots of fun. Really.
Was it?
Oh, yes, I had
People would see you on the street and they call you Helen instead of Roxie?
Quite often they do, but now they tend to call me Roxie. They know who I am now.
Roker. Is that your real last name?
That's my real name.
love that
Roxie
name.
Roker. A good Bahamian name.
Your mother saw a movie with Ginger Rogers once,
Roxie Hart?
Hart.
No, but
No?
I'm the I-E Roxie, R-O-X-I-E. She was the Y.
I see.
No, but I was named for my maternal grandmother. My mother's mother was named Roxie. I was named for her, and my mother happened to marry this wonderful man by the name of Albert Roker, and therefore here we are, Roxie Roker.
Grew up in New York? Or
Yes, in Brooklyn.
You did?
Yes, I did.
A Brooklyn girl.
Brooklyn girl. Well, I was born in Miami, Florida. My father came from the Bahamas. My mother was American. Met.
Bahamas.
Yeah, that's right. And so I was born in Miami, Florida, but I was raised in Brooklyn. Yes.
But after, Brooklyn, you went to...
Brooklyn, yeah,
you went to
Brooklyn.
Washington, though. You went to study acting
Well,
and...
at Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Why Washington, D.C.?
Why Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
Because when I was looking at those catalogs, first of all, when I started college after high school, I went to Brooklyn College in the evening session because I wanted to work for a little while. Getting out of school, you want to have a job. So I had a job by day, and so I started working. Going to school in the evening session, split sessions. Got that straight. And therefore, I started at Brooklyn College and then transferred to Howard University because I wanted to study theater, drama.
Right.
And I thought that I would have a chance to participate a bit more at Howard University since it was a predominantly black university.
Oh, I see.
And therefore, when they gave plays and what have you, I wouldn't have any problem being cast.
But you went to England after. You
Oh, that
studied
was after grad.
Shakespeare.
Well, that was an academic course, actually, and I studied Shakespeare and Elizabethan drama at Stratford-on-Avon, England. The University of Birmingham, England, that is, has a course, a postgraduate course, during summer session. And so I went over for about 2 months. And
That's a good idea,
studied.
though.
Yeah, it was good.
It helped a lot.
Yeah, well, academically it did. Sort of put a little polish on one to go.
What made Roxie Roker change in your career? Late in your career. I mean, you were administrator, like David was saying.
Well, let me tell you, one has to get a job. Let's face facts.
Right.
When you graduate and you have your little degree and then you go out looking for a job,
Right.
I mean, you can't just walk into Broadway producers and say, well, I have this little piece of paper, hire me as an actress. You have to wait for so many openings. You have to wait for a play that requires your talents, all those kinds of things. And meanwhile, one has to work. So when I graduated and could not find a job immediately in theater,
But you always wanted to be.
Oh, yes, I
always.
knew what I wanted to be. Yes.
Okay.
But let me tell you this. I went to, in looking for a job after graduation, I went to the Urban League because they had some openings and could give us a little, entree.
Right.
And so there were 2 jobs offered me with a degree in theater.
Right.
One was to become a counselor at a camp upstate New York.
Right.
The other was to go to NBC since it was television.
Right. Right.
However, it was behind the scenes.
Yes.
As a clerk typist was the opening. But I thought, well, if I'm staying in New York City after having been in Washington all these years at school, that I should stay around New York. And so I opted to get the job
That was
at
a
NBC
smart thing.
as a clerk typist.
That was a smart thing.
But far away from the cameras.
Yeah. But you met a lot of great people, though, didn't you?
Oh, of course I did.
Yeah.
I did. It was wonderful. It was good experience for me being there. I worked at NBC for a number of years, and starting as a clerk typist at $55 a week at the time, and then moving on to become a secretary in the public affairs department, working for the director of that department, who was my really
And you got
sort of
some
like a
great
mentor to
awards
me.
too, because they gave you good awards in that. You were Woman of the Year.
Well,
that's what they say.
Well, not at NBC. That was,
That was-
like sort of community type thing.
Yes, that's what I meant. You
happened
help a
for
lot of
me.
people, don't you?
I don't know
You're
about
into
that, but
yes,
I try
you're
to
into,
be
you're into.
involved.
How did Norman learn?
Norman Lear?
Yeah, Norman Lear. How did he get?
Well, what happened
Tell me
was
about
I had, after NBC, my career at NBC, then I did finally make the break to get into theater full time. And I was working with the Negro Ensemble Company in New York City, and there was a play called The River Niger. That play went to Broadway after being seen off Broadway.
Right.
We got an Obie Award, and then we went to Broadway, and I was nominated for a Tony, which was, you know, wonderful. And after that closed, after the show closed, I was beckoned out here to read for the part of Helen Willis on the Jeffersons, and then that's when I met Norman. And
was it real easy when you came out? Was it easier for you?
What do you mean
when
by
you read,
easy?
Well, Norman knew what he wanted. Or did you bring...
well, let me tell you that I was not the first choice. There was
you
another,
weren't?
No, there was a wonderful
That's what I
actress who is a friend of mine as well, Madge Sinclair. Many people don't know this, but she had been cast as Helen Willis originally. And then it seemed that situation comedies were just not her thing. She didn't care for that. And therefore, she didn't want to stick with that. And so they had to hire another actress. And then that's when I was summoned out, and I was one of the people. And I'm grateful to Norman that I was cast in the part.
The Jeffersons, doing so well. How many years now?
It was 11 seasons. Now we're in reruns, but you know, we went on for 11
years.
seasons on CBS, yes.
Roxie Roker, that's a whole career of itself, isn't it? Upstairs neighbor, I mean, really.
Yeah.
That's just...
But you know, we did a lot
Are you
of
enjoying
work.
that? Did you enjoy doing
Yes,
that?
I did. I liked it a great deal, you know. But I had paid a lot of dues in New York, you know, working off-Broadway with the new Federal Theater, Woody King, and with NEC, as I mentioned, and, you know, hopping around the boards there, working full-time, and then taking off in theater.
You do a lot of black theater.
Oh, yes. Yes, I did.
You support the black theater
Ooh,
very
yes,
much so.
of course I do.
I see.
That's my...
What do you think's happening with Bedford-Stuyvesant? Because you...
My community?
Yeah,
My own
your community. That is your community. That
Yes,
you
I grew up there.
I
Yes.
don't like what's happening with these young people carrying on like this
Oh,
right
but
now.
you
What
know,
is
that's
that?
because...
It's always been, or what?
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you about that.
Yeah.
What we hear in the media is so much about the negative part of it.
Right.
And I'm happy to say that I was a part of a program called Inside Bedford-Stuyvesant a number of years ago.
You had a show.
On television
Right.
with Jim Lowry, and the two of us were hosts. It was sponsored by the Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation.
Right.
And what we tried to do at that time was to show the positive parts of that community. Bedford-Stuyvesant is a really vital community in which there are a number of black people, a large percentage of them owning their own homes, their brownstones. And the Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation came in order to sort of upgrade the homes and sort of get the neighborhood feeling back into that community and to show the positive aspects. You know, when I grew up in Bed-Stuy, let me tell you, I mean, it was eons ago, naturally.
Yes.
But it was really such a rich community.
It was a
in
neighborhood.
terms of a vital
Nice,
community.
a very good.
We all took piano lessons, you know, you had to do things. We had a structured life. But along came the turmoil in the later, you know, 60s and 70s, which turned life around quite a bit.
It's
for a
the
number of
drugs.
people.
It's the drugs, though.
Of course.
It's the drugs.
Of course.
We're having problems with the drug in this country.
But we had close family relationships. The church in the community was really such a vital force, you know. And there were lots of things for us to do. Lots of programs for the young people to be involved in. As I mentioned before, there was always the arts, there was always the church, there were always programs being given.
Right.
You know, and that's the kind of life I came up with. And when we hear about Bed-Stuy now, of course, you hear only the negative aspects of it, but some wonderful people have come out of that community.
You're happy what's happening with the black people in America today, aren't you?
Well, what's happening, not overall. Of course not.
But like what?
I mean, you can't. Well, I'm not happy with what's happening in terms of drugs.
Right.
I'm not happy about what's happening in terms of.
Because mostly the black people are doing that.
Well, that's not so.
That's not so.
That now we've become alarmed because we have learned that it is all of our children.
Right.
And not just, you know, the black community or the Hispanic
or the
community.
crime.
Oh, yes, of course. And of course, the reason for it is that, I mean, there's no simplistic answer to all of this. I wouldn't deign to speak about it as if it was just simply solved.
Yes.
But I'm not happy about the aspect of family life being torn apart the way it is, because I know from my own background and from my own family how vital and close that.
You had a good family, I could see it.
I have a marvelous family.
And you grew up in that rough neighborhood, and it really isn't rough. They made it rough. They make it sound like it's rough, but it really isn't.
Well, it wasn't
I did
when I
shows
grew up.
around there at the Town Hill in Brooklyn.
Oh, you told me
I did, yes,
that.
and it was wonderful. I used to work with Nellie Letcher and all those wonderful
she lived
people.
in Brooklyn too.
Yes.
Yes.
And I used and I had great times. I never was afraid or anything.
No.
And people
Well, this is a different life. I mean, people are afraid around New York. I mean, in any neighborhood.
Right,
you know.
true.
When I moved into Manhattan, I was living up on the upper, you know, east side, and you know, right now when I return to that area, it's not as it used to be. Nothing
You have a
is.
son.
Oh, I have a marvelous son.
How old is he? Well,
he's in his 20s.
He's in he's in the business. And
He is in the business.
And he has, what is he, a band singer? Or he has his own band? Or he writes music?
He's a musician.
Ah, that's
he
it.
writes, and he sings, and he plays several instruments. And his debut album is out now, everyone.
Is it? Really? This is his debut album?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to turn this. This is his picture?
That's his picture. That's on the back.
I
and there's a wonderful one inside that you can see of Leonard.
Okay.
And the album is called Let Love Rule.
This one?
That's it.
That's lovely.
That's my boy.
That's...
And he's written all the songs on it. And the promotional concert that he's giving now. So we'll be there. So I want you all to come.
You seem very happy. You're working right now. You're doing something. What's in Roxie Roker's life right now? You're in a play.
Yes, I'm in a play now over at the Inner City Cultural Center. It's called Woman from the Town. It's a play by Sam Ott Williams, marvelous playwright. And we're having lots of fun, you know, doing
What's the play about, actually?
The play about, you know what I like to say in a simplistic way about the play?
Yes.
Is this, to me, I liken it to, more or less, it's like the prodigal sisters. There was a sister, two sisters from North Carolina, one who left and found fame and fortune in New York, and the other who remained at home, kind of bitter about that.
Right.
She was the sister who remained behind, did not really achieve all the things that she knew that she was capable of doing. Right. And so it's the conflict between the two when the sister...
She resents.
That's right.
But, yeah.
When the sister who left returns, there's all this
yeah.
family stuff that goes on
That's
between
wonderful.
them. And it's
what
a wonderful
sister are
stretch
you?
for
The
me.
one who made
I'm the
it?
one. Oh, no, no.
Oh, you just
See,
resent?
that's why I love it. And that's why
it's
I'm just so appreciative of
I would say you...
Sam to be cast, really, not according to what they everyone might think I might be, because most ladies, you know, touches your lady. Now I'm the lady who stays at home.
Do you like, do you like theater, Rox?
I love theater.
Isn't it great?
I do. I really do.
We have good theater in L.A. right now.
We're getting it. I mean, I think so. I think it's improving quite a bit.
What's the the black theater you're doing? What is that all about, this theater? It's wonderful theater.
What,
I know.
the Inner City Culture?
Inner City Culture.
Well, yes, this is my first time working there, but I have attended many, many productions at Inner City Cultural Center. I understand that it's been in existence now for over 20-some-odd years here in L.A., and you might know more about it than I. And
not really. I interviewed some. I can't remember. She was a singer from New York, and she did the Razors and this Rise, Razor. I don't know. Remember?
Really?
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
Many wonderful
Virginia something.
Capers?
Capers, isn't she?
Yes, a
isn't
wonderful
she?
actress.
Yes.
She was Raisin in the Sun. The same year that we in the River Niger received the Tony Award for the Best Drama, Raisin received it for the Best Musical. She was in the musical version of
wonderful.
Raisin, and she has a company of her own. But C. Bernard Jackson is the head of the Inner City Cultural Center, and he's been doing a magnificent job for over 20 years there. They have a playwriters group over there. They also have a competition for actors called the Ira Aldrich Awards. They have songwriting competitions. They do so many wonderful things right here in the inner city. See, we must put forth the good things that are being done.
So the young people are attending.
There's a lot out there.
There really
is. Just get off the corners, if we can just sort of
get them off that corner, street corners, right?
And get them away from
get them in the theater.
The dealers.
Yes.
We'll be we'll be better.
The dealers. I like what you just said. Get them away from the dealers. Roxie, you tell me something. You look very happy.
Thank you.
Very, very happy. Was it hard work on the Jeffersons, getting up early in the morning every day? I mean,
yeah, well, I'm not doing that now. I'm now getting up very early, going over to Inner City.
Before you were, it was hard work to do a series,
you know, I chose to do this work, and therefore I don't have any complaints about it. I mean, I do when I say, well, I'm tired or we work very late, but this is what I chose to do, you know, and nobody made me do it. It was a choice.
Are you still close with the people in the Jeffersons?
The Jeffersons, yes. Myra Gibbs and I are very, very good friends. And
great singer, isn't she?
She's a good singer as well as an actress, and she's a fantastic businesswoman.
She has a club.
Her club. That's right.
What's the name of her
Memory
club?
Lane.
Memory Lane.
That's right.
Myra Gibbs living. That's right. Memory Lane.
Myra Gibbs, Memory Lane, located on Martin Luther
Is she
King
there all the
Boulevard.
time?
Most of the time, she's there. And now she's trying to found a wonderful sort of cultural arts center. Yes, and that's her big enterprise right now. She wants to. She had a theater, but she's now going to organize a new cultural arts center where drama, artistic work, and training for young people is going to take place there. It's great.
I'm just looking
And
at
she
you.
needs
You
all the
love,
help she can
you
get.
love to help people, don't you? It seems
Why
like you
not?
help.
We only have each other.
Because you know why? You're in that child abuse organization. It's called...
Well, the Interagency Council on Child Abuse and
And
Neglect.
not-
And what we try to do is combat child abuse. We raise money in ICANN Associates to help.
It's
about-
ICANN
It's
Associ-
ICANN,
yes,
Interagency Council on Child Abuse and Neglect.
Is that with
And
Christina Crawford? Is that
That's
the one?
right.
Christina?
That's right. She was one of the founding members of
She is,
this organization.
Okay.
Yes, and our friend Kiki Berlingue.
Kiki
That's where
Berlingue.
we met.
Yes, yes, right. She's a lovely lady.
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah, she's organized. She's donated a lot to that.
She has donated a great deal.
A lot of people in
course.
Beverly Hills do donate a lot to this.
Yes, they do.
Have you been neglected when you were a child? Were you abused?
Oh,
No.
my Lord,
So it
anything
doesn't-
but. That's why.
That's what I mean, yes.
Anything but. I had the most loving parents in the world. And
So
just
you-
recently, my dad threw me the biggest birthday party recently. It was just a surprise. And Kiki and all of our friends were there, Christina as well.
What do the
And,
people in the abuse organization, what do they actually...
Well,
how
what we do, actually, what we do, there are 8 family treatment centers.
Right.
Neighborhood family treatment centers. And what we do, the group that I
Right.
belong to, is since we are in other professions, we don't have a hands-on type of thing. We can't spend the time at the centers. But what we do is to raise the funds to help these centers function to do the job that they should do
Right.
to help these families.
I see,
Yes, who are
I
abusing
see.
the
That's
children.
what you do.
And yes, that's what we do. And we feel as if we make a contribution to the professionals in the field who are there to help the children and their families.
Are you spiritual? You seem very spiritual.
Well, I should hope so.
You seem very
Yes,
spiritual.
yes.
You seem happy, too.
Well, I was
At
brought
this
up
moment,
with very,
this-
very happy people.
At
My
this
mother and
moment of your
father.
life, Roxie Roker, are you satisfied?
Oh, I don't know if satisfied is the
Well,
word. I think I am.
Are you content?
I'm content.
Where you are right
basically,
now.
But I don't want to be passively satisfied in any way. There's too much to be done and too many things to look forward to doing.
But you are happy where you are right now.
Oh, I'm happy with myself. I'm pleased with my friends and my family, and I have that wonderful support group around me. I'm into.
Are you married?
Currently,
Yes.
no.
No? Yes.
But I have a wonderful. My
Father,
husband and
your
I.
father is
well, my
wonderful.
husband, my former husband, and I are very, very close because we have this fantastic.
Was he in the business, or-
Kid. Yes.
Yes,
he used to work in television as well. Yes.
Your father, I met
Yes,
him.
my
He's
dad.
wonderful.
Yes,
this
he
is the one
did.
from the islands?
Yes, my dad was born in the Bahamas.
In the
Yes,
Bahamas.
Yes.
Do you go there
Mhm.
often, do you?
As often as I can.
Where do you go? Where
I
is
go
it?
to Nassau.
Nassau,
Yes, and recently I've been visiting one of the family islands called Harbor Island. They call it Bryland, you know, Harbor Island. And I would like to really sort of settle there someday. It's maybe one of the family islands. My dad was born actually on Inagua. That's the most southern of the Bahamian islands.
Right.
And, you know, I love it there. I do.
Music,
I
and
feel
your-
like I have 2 homes.
Music. Your
here
son
and there.
sings, plays. Roxie Roker, does she play, sing, dance?
No, I used
There is
to
no music
try.
in you?
Oh, I used
Come
to
on,
try.
there's got to be some music in you.
I tried to sing. I tried. I really do. And if I have to sing, I will. But I'm not a great singer. But I love the music. So my son, when he listens to me, he says, "Ma, I never remember the words," you know, that kind of thing. But I love music. I
see.
really do.
But
really
I can't
do.
believe, Roxie Roker, what would you tell these young people out there if they want to come to Hollywood or get into the business?
I
You
would
tell them to
advise
go, enter,
them.
go ahead.
I would advise them first to get a good education, to be trained well.
I've
Yes,
interviewed,
I would
I've
think,
interviewed
yes.
over hundreds of people, and they've said,
Sure.
I've asked that question, and they've all answered that question.
You know, I was very lucky because I had and have, you know, supportive family.
Right.
My parents, they supported my, you know, what I wanted to do. They didn't put it down. But also, they were smart enough, especially my mom. She passed recently. But my mother always said to me, you know, when I was going off to school, she said, yes, study drama, but you know, take some other things on the side. And so I minored in education just in case, so that I might teach if I, you know, wanted to.
So you grew up with a very tight family.
Oh,
You
yeah.
said your mother.
Oh, yes. The love of my life.
See? That
Yeah.
was your love of your life.
My dad is too. I mean,
I
just
see.
sort of-
I see. You're
we're
so
tight.
So you're very close.
Yes.
That's important to be.
Yes.
That's important for every person to be with the family.
I would think so, and my son, you know, and
Do you
my
teach-
stepdaughters as well.
Do you teach your son that? Does he?
Well, yeah, he recently went to Florida on a promotional trip with, to promote his record. He's
Right.
with Virgin Records, and the record producers were meeting at their convention there, and was appearing, playing. And my aunt lives right down in Miami. He was playing up in Hollywood, and he went down to see his grand aunt, spent the afternoon with her, went and got some of his favorite food, and sat around and spent the day with her. He's that way too.
What's your favorite food, Roxie?
What's my favorite
Yeah,
food?
you have-
oh,
come
Bahamian
on.
food.
What kind?
Bahamian food.
Bohemian.
Oh, Bahamian from the
What?
Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Yes.
No, I'm not too familiar with that.
Oh, I
mean,
would love.
Because I'm
one of
not
my
too
dreams
familiar
is
with the islands. I've been
Oh,
to
you
Europe
must
and the Far East. Not
go.
really.
Why
Okay.
have you not been?
Because I don't like hot-ass countries, honey. That's hot there, darling. It's hot.
Oh, well, I know.
It is.
But
It's
no hotter
awfully
than
hot.
L.A.
Oh, okay.
Really, go in the
Okay.
winter.
Okay, go ahead.
Or
So-
something like that. Well, anyway, one of the things I want to do, I would like so much to I've been tinkering with the idea of having a restaurant because I just love the food so much from the islands.
have
And
a
my
restaurant
favorite
here
dip,
in Hollywood.
I would like to do that here. Yes, if
Uh-huh,
I could.
That'd be fun.
Imagine me a businesswoman.
Why not?
I'd love to do
Myra, why not? She's doing well, isn't she?
Yes, my friend is. But I like conch, but you don't know what that is. You probably call it conch. But in the
Conch.
island, they call it conch.
Conch,
I love
okay.
conch fritters,
Uh-huh.
conch salad, conch chowder, any form, peas and rice, pigeon peas and rice.
Uh-huh.
That's
Okay.
right. Plantain.
No, go ahead.
You don't know about
no,
that?
No.
Rupa.
Rupa, yeah.
Great fish.
Uh-huh,
Wonderful fish.
yes.
Seasoned with a lot of lemon and spices and stuff. All of that kind of stuff.
Is that hat from the island?
Do you like this?
I
No, this,
love it. It's
no,
wonderful.
darling, this hat is not from the island.
What is it
not
from?
this particular one.
No,
you
but
see.
that is lovely.
No, this is my little African hat.
Oh, is it?
I went to the African marketplace recently and bought this, you
Oh,
know?
okay.
Is it fun? I love
Yeah,
it.
it is.
Yes. So you must come next year also to the African marketplace. It's marvelous. It's great. All these kinds of wonderful ethnic things you can buy.
The color is
It's great.
beautiful.
Love
It
it.
is.
Love it.
Roxie Roker, have a man in your life right now?
A man in my, yes,
In your life?
several.
In your life?
Yes.
Any
My
special?
son,
Oh, come
my
on.
dad, my former husband, and the other men who are my friends.
But
I
you
got all
don't
these
have
men around me.
But no special man in your life, really.
Oh, they're all
There's-
special.
Okay.
Oh, yes, very,
Okay.
very special. You're in my life now.
Jeffersons.
you
you
shied away
still
from that one real fast.
Yeah, the Jeffersons. You still see those great people you were telling me you do see them.
I do
And
see
you do
some
have-
of them. Franklin Cover's in New York. He recently, he played my husband on the show. And he recently was on Broadway. I went to see him there doing Born Yesterday.
Ah. Would you like to do another series? I
yeah,
mean, would you
I sure do. Yes,
You said it right
indeed.
away.
Yes, yes, because I have one.
You do?
That I'm developing with a couple of my friends, with Kathleen
Could you share
McGee
it with us? at this moment?
Anderson and Eloyd Napier and I.
Uh-huh.
I have had this idea in my mind for a long time about a show that I wanted to do, and so I got these two wonderful writers to sit down with me, and
Right.
we have something going.
I see.
We just need to sell it.
Did you go back to Brooklyn at all?
Of course I go back
do?
to Brooklyn. Yes,
You
I
have
do.
you have friends there?
Yes, I do. I have friends from the time, I still have friends from the time I was about 8 years of age. I mean, I've had friends all during my life, and they're still my friends.
So when you came to California from the Jeffersons,
Uh-huh.
you moved packing bags all the way from New York to here, right? And you've been here ever since. That's 11 years? You've been here
Yes,
11
I didn't
years?
just pack bags like that. For a while, we commuted. You
commuted?
know, my family, my husband and my son and I brought Lenny out, you know, and then, you know, we were back and forth. And then finally, Norman said, Roxie, the show is going to go on. You can move
see,
out. So
I see.
I stopped commuting, and then we moved out, and sort of been residents ever since.
Roxie Roker, what would you like to do for the government of this country, for the blacks? I mean,
For the government?
Yeah, the government. Well, tell the government. What would you like to tell the people of this country? I mean, like I had Eartha Kitt on the show, and she's not satisfied what they are doing for
That's
the
why I
black
said
people.
we can't be satisfied. No.
She's not satisfied. They can do more. She feels they can do more.
Well, I feel, I don't know that I have the answer to how to run the world.
No,
won't
I
say
understand
that.
that.
You know, I won't say that. I will say this, though. I think that we, as a people, first of all, need to get our own act together. I think that all Americans and
Worry
we,
about ourselves
as you know,
as-
first
as
of
a
all,
country.
if we return to our roots,
Yes.
and the foundation that we had as a people, the unity that we have among us, because black people are beautiful people.
They
we
are.
are magnificent
They really are,
people.
yes.
And we have to counteract all the negative publicity that's being given out. You know, sometimes they tell children in school this. If a teacher keeps telling you you can't learn, then you begin to feel that you can.
Exactly.
But you need that old kind of, you know, stuff. When somebody told me I can do something, I would always, that other thing, my
Right.
family would say,
Right.
yes, you can. Yes,
Yes.
you can do it. And I think we need to hear that more. And I think psychologically, we need to get away from all of that negativity that's been placed on us,
Right.
because we begin to act out what's been said to you.
Yes.
And if you tell people how wonderful and beautiful they are, and they begin to believe that, they will show you more of that, rather than all those negative things that you know, feed in.
Yes.
If we weren't so wonderful, why would those people have gone all that far over to Africa to pick us up
Right.
and bring us here?
Bring us here.
I
That's
mean,
right.
first of all, because you're very bright people, aren't
Right.
you? Unless
Yeah.
you're very, you know. So.
But Americans always worry about everybody else but their own people. So we should only worry about our people too.
Well, I don't
and our
think
country.
only. No, I think this planet. I mean, we have to
That-
worry
we
about
have
the
a planet?
Yes,
Okay.
we must worry about each other, but we must stop putting down the other groups all the
Groups,
time.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
we're all magnificent people.
So
you
we
know?
should all love each other.
Oh, sure, a little bit more. I mean, I don't expect that everybody
be
will
kind
be.
to everybody.
And stop taking people as a group and putting them down. You
Yes.
know, there are individuals in each group.
Yes,
You know.
I see. As a group.
But
That's
you
kind of-
cannot say, you can have a magnificent, wonderful physician, someone who's making a contribution. You can think about people formerly like, you know, well, historically, if we look back in
Yes.
life. And we look at the George Washington Carvers, and we look back at the Dr. Drews,
Yes.
and if we look back at the Booker T. Washingtons and the, you know,
Yes.
all of these magnificent people who lived and made a contribution to this country,
Yes.
to all of us. And if we, you know, and if you say you take those individuals and you put them out on the street, we start damning everybody.
Yes.
We don't know who we're killing off. And it's true what the United Negro College Fund says, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And we might have someone, these children that we're feeding all this garbage to.
Right.
I mean, there might be a brilliant mind there to cure AIDS, to cure cancer, to cure, you know, all the, you know, so many things that we need to pay attention to. So we need to cultivate people and not be so competitive to put them down. Because this country, I think our strength is, you know, happens to be in our people.
Bush is
all
doing-
of our people.
Yes.
This is a marvelous experiment we have here.
Yes.
I mean, there's no other nation with people from so many diverse
Cultures, right.
you know,
Definitely.
and they all need to thrive.
And everybody hates everybody.
But that's the
wrong.
pity.
That
That's
is
the
the
pity.
pity.
There's so many opportunities here in this country, and we need to really pay attention to that and
Because we're all from
really
every different.
celebrate each other.
Right. We're all from every country there is.
That's right. And no
You
other
know.
country has done this. When we say
Yeah.
that you look at this country and look at that one, they don't have the mixture that we
Mixture,
have.
right.
And I think we have done a great job. But I think we need to do very, very much more.
I see.
And I think we need to instill more positive principles, you know.
But it's in
to
the
our
family.
children.
Don't you think the family should?
I think basically your
Basically
family.
the
Yeah,
family
Yeah, that's right.
from the kid.
But it could be the nation too.
The nation?
I mean, yeah, sure. You know, I mean, as a whole, I think we need to show these kinds of things.
I see. Well, you seem very, very spiritual. Are you going to run for politics someday? You think? Why not? All
No,
the
I never
actors?
thought
You know,
of doing that.
Because you help